No, bitch, you don't know now, nigga. No. You don't know now, nigga. That dress fresher than me. And you don't know now, nigga. That way more polo shit than me, bitch. You don't know now, nigga. Who do more freaky stuff? Eddie Coochie with their legs up. Then I float all in your butt. And I don't know now, ho. Who liked it and like you? Who'll bite the dick like you? Who look like a bitch like you? And don't like a bitch like you. I'll fight a bitch like you. On trifling bitch like you. Ain't no telling what you might do, bitch. You know now, nigga.
Yo, what the fuck? If this nigga says, oh hell no, girl, what you gonna do about that? Oh girl, Sister Trina, hold on, girl, let me get in on this. Girl, let's get this nigga together. Hold on. And you know now, don't pay the place that I've been. Who can spend when there's not fair? Fuck about 5 to 6 best friends. And you know now, that'll stop a chain like me. That'll floss a thing like me. All the off a thing like me. And you know now, oh, girl, that is the song that is called Nan. Okay, it is truly a one-of-a-kind song. I mean, who really comes up with a song named Nan? Oh, and for those of y'all who don't know how to spell it, it is an N, an A, and 2 N's. Can I make it up? Okay. Either way, love the song. Wonderful song, okay? Not only because it reminds me of my roots being a hood baby and all. Yes, girl, we will always love ghetto and hood shit. But mostly because white children cannot sing along with it, either in public or in private. Granted, it doesn't stop them, but, you know, it is what it is. And why, you may ask? Well, aside from the fact that the N-word is used throughout the entire song, white people do not know what Nan is. But according to Urban Dictionary, which, yes, there is, and it does exist, Nan is a term from the southern dialect of the quote-unquote Black Standard English that means quote-unquote no, quote-unquote none, quote-unquote not any, or quote-unquote no other. But that's the Black vernacular for you, making English short, sweet, and to the point. Ain't nobody got time to be pronouncing all those goddamn words, okay? Lord knows I hate standard English. We'll get into that later. But with that said, actually, let's talk about languages, shall we? Languages. Pour parler la langue française. To speak English. To speak quote-unquote proper English. To chat in a patois. Pour parler créole haïtien. Je ne sais pas. M'ba connais. Mais non, monsieur, mais non. No man, I know nothing where I go, I know nothing where I take place. But stop it now. Anyway, so it's a mystery. Which language am I going to speak? But of course it depends, where the hell am I at? Am I at home? Am I at work? Am I in the streets? Am I in Brooklyn? Am I in Manhattan? Am I in front of Nick's company? Lord knows it's always a debate. But in general, languages, or shall I say, a language, is a structured system of communication used by humans, based on speech and or gesture, which is quote-unquote spoken language / sign language, and of course writing, which is of course quote-unquote written speech, or written language, if you will. Now, languages, they are used to communicate and express emotions, opinions, thoughts, dreams, fears, whatever else you got going on, etc., etc. Whatever you are thinking or got going on, there is a word. Noun, adjective, pronoun, sentence, proverb, anecdote, simile, metaphor, hyperbole, quotation mark, question mark, or, quote unquote, phrase for it. In any language, period. Now, how many languages there actually are in the world? Child, way too many to count, okay? Hell, Africa alone has over 400 distinctive, let me say this for the bitches in the back and the bitches in the peanut gallery, over 400 distinctive languages alone. Granted, it's a continent, not a country, but Oh, and let me go ahead and emphasize that. Africa is a continent, not a goddamn country. My children need to get together. Okay? So they got a lot going on, okay? From the ones the colonizers left behind to the ones they came up with themselves during slavery / colonization times. So the white man could not understand what they were saying and or quote-unquote plotting. Okay? But languages, they come in all kinds of forms, styles, speeds, rhythms, etc., etc. From French, which everyone says is the most beautiful language they've ever heard. It's the love language. Even though Lord knows there's a lack of consonants and it always sounds like they're telling a goddamn secret. It's a goddamn Russian, which sounds extremely cryptic, and it almost sounds like when a person trying to imitate making a splash of water, whoosh, or it sounds like when somebody's gargling to some extent. So of course my beautiful languages of Haitian Creole and of course Jamaican Patois, which they do sound like their respective British English and French respectively, but they just have a lot of African flavor going on and a lot of African rhythms, emotions, and of course complexities and complications with them too. Excuse me. And then of course there's Spanish, which it really depends on where you're at. Since Lord knows, Spanish does not translate with every single Hispanic equally or properly. Trust me, you can learn a lot watching Beto like. Trust me. But the one language that everyone can agree on is English. Granted, they did colonize the entire world, but of course that's a different story. Now, English is the language that, in a weird way, it binds everyone together, despite the fact that it does not translate into any other language properly, correctly, or completely. Okay? Take, for example, Spanish. There are few prepositions. In Haitian Creole, there's no literal word for to be. And to clarify, to be is kind of, we use that word as, it means am, is, are. It's that little linking word. It's like a linking verb, if you want. In German, the verb to have replaces the verb to be, okay? And in French, they tend to have false cognitives, or for amis, where you have two words that may look like another, but they have a different meaning entirely. Well, two different meanings entirely. In Italian, you don't have to use personal pronouns, since Lord knows the conjugation, it kind of, it already indicates the tense, and it already indicates, the pronoun already. The same thing goes with Spanish, but it's what it is. Even though is Italian and Old Spanish, or is Latin really the father of both Italian and Spanish? We will never know. But English, in spite of it being the most basic and simplest language ever developed, it dominates the world, and it has a superiority complex. From having songs, movies, and books having to be translated in English to get a massive appeal. Well, Despacito is something. I mean, ever since Justin Bieber decided to jump on it, every white child and their mama want to learn Spanish, despite the fact they want to hurl them goddamn insults at one another. Speak English, speak proper English. We are in America now. Speak English. I don't get it. It's weird, but privilege again. And of course, it also stems to immigrants who, Lord knows, they like using how much English they quote-unquote know as a determiner of their intelligence and worth, which, really though? Really though? That is hilarious. It really is. Especially considering the fact that immigrants also tend to get upset and go absolutely shit bananas and crazy whenever people, specifically quote-unquote Americans, tell them to quote-unquote speak English. You're in America now. Learn English. How do you not know how to speak English and you lived in America for so long? Or better yet, wow, you speak proper English? That's impressive. Now the last one I've heard all my life, which the fact that quote-unquote white American people's English or quote-unquote proper English is held up so high in regard, when all of them be trying to imitate black people's English or the quote-unquote English/British accent is beyond me. I mean, I've seen enough white children try to use our goddamn English. For what reason, we don't know. Lord knows the amount of them that try to imitate an English accent is ridiculous. And yet, there are so many variations of English. I just don't get it. We don't know which one is the true English. From the English used in the Bible to the one Shakespeare used. And of course, from the English used in the South to whatever kind of farcical, cryptic, foreign, unbelievably incoherent English that Cheeto, aka 45, aka Donald J. Trump, uses on a daily daily basis. Now, that language I call straight up Trumpetese, okay? Because Lord knows, I still feel like I need a translator or I need closed captions. I don't know what it is. Everybody really should try listening to his English before judging anybody else's English because I don't know what the fuck that is. Somebody needs to come explain that shit to me, please. Now, myself, and how I feel about languages, yeah. Child, again, we're all over the place. Okay, to start off, English is never a language I was attached to, then or now. Actually, let's keep it all the way real. I was never attached to English, especially nowadays, since Lord knows I cannot go 10 minutes without changing either a language or an accent. But yet people have been amazed that I quote unquote speak so well, quote unquote, I like you speak proper English and all that. Like, wow, it's like, it's amazing. Being black automatically makes you bilingual. The one English you have, you speak in the house and you speak in your regular community, to of course the other English you speak at work or around mixed company. we are a pro code switcher. And for those of y'all who do not know what that is, code switching is when black children have to, use a more, I guess, acceptable English to kind of communicate with white children at work. Since if we actually try to speak how we would speak amongst each other, they don't get it. It's like a goddamn foreign language to them. It's amazing. Lord knows it just throws them. But yeah, as far as other languages concerned, I speak two others, Jamaican Patois and Haitian Creole, which yes, those two are straight up languages. Jamaican Patois is not broken English, nor is it a slang. I'm tired of bitches saying that shit. And I wish anybody would try to say that Haitian Creole is broken French. I wish you would. I will slap the shit out of you. I will put you 6 feet underground. Do not play with me. Now, one of them I've had around me most of my life. And the other one, it really drew me in. Like, Sister Siobhan, she really inspired me to learn it. And Lord knows, I don't know. It just, for me, it's interesting. It really is. I managed to learn both of them. And Lord knows, I've actually managed to keep up with both of them in both equal amount of time and, of course, equal amount of weight as well. Like, they're both around the same level. I'm not gonna lie, they have the same amount of speed, the same amount of time, energy, and blood, sweat, and tears spent with them. And Lord, I just I love both of them just as well. Even though, Lord knows, I tend to use Patois a lot more than Creole, but Creole is, I wouldn't say it's a stretch, but Lord knows, it's just, it takes certain options. When it comes to Jamaican Patois, I use that either when I'm angry, especially when I'm angry. Oh my God. I use Creole mostly when I'm actually over here criticizing shit, or when I'm just over here just be like, wow, just wow. C'est comme ça ou décide habiller. Share you for once. I can't. But where was I? Oh yes. But also, I've been listening to different languages all my goddamn life. From my love of opera, being sung in goddamn French, German, and Italian, to, of course, the different dialects of Russian and the never-ending sea of Spanish I've been hearing for the last 6 years at my job. And, of course, to the many other languages I get to hear on my job. I mean, working at luxury retail, you really get to see the whole world come up in there. And you hear all kinds of languages spoken in all kinds of speeds, all kinds of rhythms, all kinds of this, all kinds of that. Trust me. And then also, when I was younger, we had a little television. I actually had caption 3 subtitles, so I used to watch a lot of Telemundo. Shout out to Decisiones and Decisiones Extremas. Yes. And of course, to those magical soap operas, which, wow, they were something. They really were something. Jesus Christ, I might as well go ahead and send an application to the goddamn UN to work as an interpreter or as a translator. With the amount of language experience apparently I seem to have. But with all that being said, language is important. It is your source of communication. And in a way, it could be your passport. You can get as many as you want. Now, how far you go with it, or quote unquote, how you choose to use it, or for, quote unquote, what level proficiency and or fluency level you decide to take it to, that in some cases is up to you. All right? Not only can you learn something new and engage in more experiences and make more connections around the world, it's like joining an exclusive club that not everybody has access to. Okay? From being able to watch other movies and, of course, comedy content. So, of course, listening to music and, of course, just being over here to being able to talk all the kind of shit you want. And they will never know. They can only guess, wonder, hypothesize, and just think about, wow, I only know one language. That's tragic. Child, my advice to y'all is whatever your language is, do what you want. But make sure you try to go outside your comfort zone. And, get a Rosetta Stone. Go to Duolingo. Take a course. Remember, practice makes perfect in whichever language you want. Okay? Or Lord knows, actually, they have a book for that too. Or get you a practice that makes perfect for whichever language you want for dummies. They still have them shits, okay? They still have French for dummies, German for dummies, Italian for dummies, Russian for dummies, Arabic for dummies. They have everything for dummies. Let me leave that alone. But baby, your language is your language. Don't just stick with the one you got. Take up another one. But remember, what you do with it, how you use it, that's your own business, all right? But remember, your next destination, it awaits you. So, do what you want. Merci. Merci bien. Thank y'all, Father God. And of course, God bless.
Concha, ai, concha,